guys, welcome back to Weekly Reads, where I talk about the books that I read recently and the ones that I'm reading currently. So let's jump right into it. The book I finished recently over the weekend was The Adivasi Will Not Dance by Hansta Shekhar. This is a book regarding multiple short stories from the Adivasi community, especially Santals who form an Adivasi community in Jharkhand. Whenever we say the word Adivasi, people always think that Adivasis stay in huts or they are not dressed appropriately and they are very backward in nature, but that's not true. Okay, so Santhal, although being an Adivasi community, there are many Santhals who live in cities, who have respectable government jobs and who have respectable I would say a status in the society. So they are like actually there's this divide in the Santhal community, you can say that, because there are also many Santals who stay in rural areas in Jharkhand and they do not have anything. They are pushed into prostitution, pushed into hard labor, and basically they need to migrate to various places in order to have money for food. Okay, so I think this is a very eye-opening book. I ended up giving it 4 stars because I didn't like a few short stories. And it's, by the way, a very controversial book because it talks about how Santhal women are in the slave trade, sex trade, prostitution, human trafficking, and things like that. It's like a hard-hitting book, but I think like a few chapters could have been better or could have been omitted. However, my favorite story in the whole book is the last chapter, which is called The Adivasi Will Not Dance. I think that's like the most hard-hitting book because it is reality and it is still happening in India today. So if you're an Indian, this book is a must-read. Please read it. Please, I mean, you'll be enlightened, or at least it will be like one step towards understanding the Adivasi community in India. So that's done. Now let me talk about the books that I'm reading currently. So the first book that I finished 72% is Forest of Enchantments by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni, which is an awesome book, by the way. I'll have a lot to say about it after I finish the book, but this book is like too good, man, too good. Okay, so the next one is A Fine Balance by Rohinton Mystery. I finished 58% of the book and we are currently reading this as a group read, which is being hosted by me. Okay, sorry, I just thought I would get bragging rights here, but yeah, and we are 8 chapters in and we have 8 chapters left, so we are exactly at like 50% of the book currently. It's a great book so far and it's very, very interesting. It's based in India. It talks about characters from rural India as well as urban India and how there is a divide between them. Read the book to understand because I don't want to talk much about it, honestly. The next one is Bernardine Evaristo's Girl, Woman, Other, which was the Man Booker Prize winner for 2019, or the joint Man Booker Prize winner for 2019. I am currently passively reading this book because I want to finish Forest of Enchantments and then jump onto this. So I'm only done with like 16% of this one. Now let's just move on to the star of this whole video, and that is In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. In all honesty, if you tell me to read non-fiction, I would not read non-fiction. Okay, I am very picky with non-fiction. But if you tell me to read a memoir, I would be totally on board. But if you tell me to read a memoir about a traumatic experience and how the author lived through it, I would be all in for it, honestly. And this is what this book is about. This book is about the time when the author was in an abusive relationship and how she dealt with it. It is not only a hard-hitting book, but it is a non-fiction written as fiction. So, example, the chapters are named with various filters in it. For example, there's a chapter in the book which is called The Dream House as an Accident. And basically it's just putting a filter, a filter of an accident on that particular experience. There's also Dream House as, I'm not sure if this is there or not, but I believe it will be there in the future, because all of these are like vignettes, and you are getting like glimpses of the life during of the author's life during this abusive relationship, in the form of various genres and subgenres. So it's like dream house as dystopia or dream house as utopia, where basically whenever you read the book or listen to the book, you kind of get like a filter. Like instead of like putting those rose colored glasses, you have to keep changing your glasses to dystopia or utopia to understand where is the author coming from. And I think that's like the best part of the book, like the writing and the thought process to actually like think that someone could do this is actually amazing. And no wonder it got shortlisted in the final round of the BookTube prize. I mean, it's an amazing book. Don't miss it out. And meanwhile, I'm just like 23% in. Although I've been listening to this for 2 days, it's like 23% is a good number, because I don't generally read non-fiction, and this is like non-fiction for people who don't like non-fiction, basically. So yeah, nice book. I think I'll end up giving this book 5 stars, because the dream house is a very bad place, but the writing is beautiful. So yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, that's it for my weekly reads. Let's end this with an awkward silence or an awkward bye, and bye. See you next time.